Better and better and better.
Good
There
morning,
you
good day, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is the Bobbi Jo and Sheena show. This is my colleague and friend and mindset coaching, Miss Sheena Kantar, and I, myself, am Bobbi Jo Mackles. Hello and welcome to our little show. So, Sheena, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I think, and it's a topic that really comes up with every single person, is fear. One of the things that I realized is that I had lived in fear all my life, and I did everything to avoid it. So I would keep myself busy. I would have a glass of wine. I would make sure every hour of the day was accounted for, because if I was bored and sitting down, I didn't like it. I didn't like that feeling. I didn't realize that I was actually running away from myself all those times. And when you get the chance, when you get a little bit older, to stop, sometimes you're forced to stop, to feel that fear, to feel that you have worried your way through life. And that, sometimes even people who go into a job, Bobbi Jo, I realize that, I asked them, well, you love your job, yeah. Well, if you won the lottery, would you stay in it? And they go, oh, hell no. And I went, well, then that means you're going to work in fear, because you've got the bills to pay, you've got a house to pay for. And we haven't realized that from the age of goodness knows what, when you're told, get a house, get a mortgage, that you're locked in for the next 25, 30 years. And you're that scared of losing it, that you do anything, you stay in the same job that you hate just to live for the weekend. That's not life, is it?
I know, but it's the way we're conditioned all over the world, even across the pond here. It's surviving. And you're freezing a little, but that's okay. Yeah, it's the survival mode that, this is what we do. And we kind of have forgot the last basics, because we're looking outside of ourselves for the material things to keep up with people instead of maybe having a simpler, kinder, more fulfilled life. So, well, I don't know. I think fear is in everything too, all day long. Fear, am I going to make it on time? Are my kids going to be okay going to school? We watch the news. I mean, I think that fear is vibrating at a subconscious level all the time. That in the back of the mind, that even though you're not thinking about something. Now, I had a boyfriend once in my 20s in California, and we broke up. And we were in the process of breaking up. And one day he thought he was having a heart attack and went, pulled over on the highway, and some stranger gave him a ride to the hospital, and they gave him an EKG and they said, you're fine. And they said, but are you going through anything stressful? And he said, yeah, my girlfriend and I are breaking up, but I wasn't even thinking about her. And it doesn't matter, because the body and the subconscious is holding on to that. So if you're in debt and you have credit cards, or there's illness in the family, like, you're always registering at this fear. And it's about knowing yourself and knowing your beautiful mind. And we talk about this, like, you need to update the mind and the way we think, just like our phones. Look how often our phones have to be updated. And I said this last week, when is the last time you've updated your mind? So you have to have this awareness of what you're really thinking and feeling. And it's not bad, and don't judge it, but so you can be at ease and you can be healthier and you can live the life that you deserve and want to live. So it's in abundance. Take it
And
away.
reading the work of David Hawkins, I love his map of consciousness. And, he said that actually 78% of the world live in a vibration below 200. Now, this is out of 1,000. Oh, look, there you go. Map of consciousness right there. And
Take a
that
picture.
78% are living in that red box at the bottom there. And that is fear, guilt, and shame. And oh my goodness. So when we can go, I don't want to be there. Choose where you want to be. But we tend to we bring yesterday into today, and then that becomes our tomorrow. So then we're anxious about tomorrow because we're basing tomorrow based on yesterday. We're never
Yes.
actually here right now. And somebody said that it's a shame, because when you get to your goal where you wanted to be, you're never there because you're always in the next place. And so, it really is about living in the here and the now, and that being in the essence of everything rather than the content of everything. When you can choose the essence and let the essence lead. So feel, well, what do I want to feel? I choose to be happy. And it is a choice. That's proven in science. It is a choice to be happy. So, well, I choose to be happy. And then keep walking forward in that. Forget the content. Let the content, it will come along. But if we let the content lead, so if we let the illusions and we let yesterday lead and all our worries lead, well, we'll just walk into more worries. I love actually the saying, the Ho'oponopono one, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you, because we're 6 seconds behind what's going on consciously. And so what you're doing is like setting up, it's almost like setting up the air in front of you. Right? Was if you think about it, if you're worried in your head, then the air in front of you is full of worry. Because we sort of walk into the air that we've just given. So what if we literally had whatever it is we want to say, thank you, oh my goodness, I love you, this is brilliant, oh, isn't this wonderful, imagine what would happen, imagine if this happened, then that becomes the air that you walk into. I mean, it sounds simple, but it is something that needs to be practiced. I don't know how many years practice, Bobbi Jo, but I think we'll be practicing until the day we
take our last breath
somewhere else.
Take our last breath and we move on to another thing. So Sheena, I want you to explain that 6 seconds ahead. I'm sure some of our people here don't know what you meant when you said our thoughts are 6 seconds ahead of our real thought.
Yeah, so when they did some studies with an MRI scan, and they've done lots of other studies, but this one stands out to me, more than anything, that they put a guy in an MRI scanner, and he was able to press buttons right or left, and the guy who was looking at the results was able to see the brain scans. So he would ask him to choose an answer, and he would choose right or left. And the guy who was actually looking at the answers knew what he was going to choose up to 6 seconds. In fact, sometimes it was 10 seconds before he'd actually pressed the button. Now, that's incredible. There have been other studies using computers, et cetera, and the emotional response came 2 seconds before the picture came on the screen. So our subconscious is ahead of the game. It knows what's going to happen, and consciously we're behind. So I always wondered, Bobbi Jo, we think we make decisions. I don't know, but who made that decision that I just suddenly became aware of? It's kind of funny.
It is. And what do you think about using your imagination then? So you're using, like, if you could just be, I love you, I forgive you, please forgive me, I'm sorry, I know I'm messing them up. So how do you use it? I think use your imagination, start creating what you want instead of thinking about what you don't want, right? That whole worry, doubt, fear. And it like consumes a lot of our times, I've noticed, and the more I notice this and I hang out with friends and talk, I'll be like, well, why did you just have that thought? And I bring to their awareness that they just said something so negative and they're like, I don't know. And it's such the conditioning. And that's how you have to think of the subconscious mind. It is just literally a program. And it's the way you've just been operating, and you think you're thinking, but you're not at all. So I want to get back to what you said there about the here and now. That's the clarity of knowing our thoughts. And I'm just breathing in and breathing out, right? And I'm getting ready to go to the gym here, having my cup of coffee, talking to my bestie. I'm not even thinking about what the workout is going to be or what I have to do after. That might not even come. So I'm going to be here and know it's going to be a great day. Set the intention. It's going to be a magnificent day. And you said that as the essence of here and now. That's why they call it the present. I love that they say that's why they call it the gift. Like, because it's that childlike wonder. That's why I remember we always had this nostalgia of when we were, in summer and playing with your friends in the sprinkler and climbing trees. It's because you had no worry or fear. You were in the moment, just smelling the grass. That's why some days you go, oh, it smells like when I was a child. Well, it's because as a child, we were in the moment. And we were just like frolicking and happy and had no cares. And we were in the moment. And that's the essence that I'd like to get back to, even as an adult. I think I'm one of the most immature 50-year-olds I know out here. Like, I'm just in the moment. I'm not caught up in all the BS of adultish stuff.
Yeah, that childlike wonder. Funny enough, I was talking about whenever I was working for a pharmaceutical company and I'd come from the National Health Service. So there was a paradigm shift from, public sector to private. And we went on conference, and my goodness, we had Cirque du Soleil performing above our head while we were having dinner in the Canada, somewhere in some big arena. We were at the top of the CN Tower. We were having chocolate and chocolate fountain, and literally the CN Tower was just taken over for our company. And then on the way, I was just in complete awe of the whole thing. Like, I was mouth open the whole time like a little child. And on the way home, we went to check in, and so my friend went first of all, and she got her normal seat. Then her manager went, and he got business class. He was upgraded as because the plane was chartered just for our company. And then I walked up, and they gave me first class. I didn't even know what first class was. I just went, oh, right, okay, what's that? And my friend's going, how did you get first class? You've just got into this company. How did you get that? And I don't even know what is first class. Is that better than business class? And they go, why doesn't she not know things like this? This is about 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I think that child like one from work to, like, it felt like enjoyment. It didn't feel like work, even though I produced more and did more than I'd ever done, but it never felt like work to me. And so that childlike wonder was just, if we could live like that and then be surprised when things happen. And I heard this morning, Bobbi Jo's, it was said, what if you woke up today and the only thing you had was what you were grateful for yesterday? Like that hit me. And I went, oh my goodness. Now, yesterday I did, I wrote out 50 things that I was grateful for. Well, I was back on those 50 things that I was grateful for today, let me tell you, because what if that's all you get to keep is what you were grateful for yesterday? That would soon stop you from being in fear, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's a mind shift right there. I love that. I think that's a good exercise for people to do, you know?
There we go. Yeah, we can leave it at that one, can't we? That's it.
That is it. And that's a big one. You know, a lot of people, and we know this with, who we are coaching with, and we heard of Miss Sandy doing that, having some big CEO. He was hired her probably for thousands and thousands of dollars to counsel and coach him. And all she said is she pushed a piece of paper across the desk and said, here, write a gratitude list for 2 weeks. And the guy's like, really? Like, my company is falling apart. I'm paying you so much money, and really a gratitude list? And she said, do it. And sure enough, within 2 weeks, that man's life totally shifted, because instead of being disgruntled and looking at all the things wrong in his life, he shifted that vibration by seeing what was great in his life. And you can't help but like love your children, your dog, you're grateful for your car that you bought, you forget, because sometimes, and so then he just sat in that and his whole world changed. So start that gratitude list, start shifting. When you find yourself in a bad mood, call your best friend and give them a compliment, or call somebody, shift it, take it away from you and your drama and and putting yourself at dis-ease, and start making yourself happier. Start training your brain to work that way. Start that gratitude list. Have a great day. And it's Friday. And Sheena Kanta is going to be over here in the big United States in 6 days, people, 6 days.
We'll see you on then. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.